Should a Christian celebrate Halloween? And naturally, during this time of year, going far back as September, the store shelves begin to fill up with Halloween decorations and costumes and lots of candy. I understand that about 1/4 of the annual sales of candy are in connection with Halloween. It is a multi-billion-dollar business every year, and retail industries cannot afford to downplay Halloween because it's a real pot of gold for them, you might say. So how does a Christian relate to that? Probably a good idea to look at some of the history. Halloween can be traced back about 100 years AD. It was a Celtic holiday that was celebrated in Ireland, England, northern France, that was pagan. And they believed on November 1st, it was a time in the year when the dead souls were able to interact with the living. And they believed that if you didn't offer some kind of gift or treat or offering to the dead spirits at your door, they might play tricks on you. And so the night before the 1st of November, which is October 31st, they would make offerings. They'd put different kinds of offerings of fruits or vegetables, things from the harvest, so that they wouldn't have the evil spirits playing tricks on them. It was a time of peak activity. They would have bonfires, and the word bonfire actually comes from the root word bone fires, and it was all related to consulting with the dead and paganism and witchcraft and spells. And what happened is around the time of St. Patrick, when he was there in Ireland, he was trying to get people away from the paganism. But some of the Christians in Ireland thought, well, we could reach more of the Christians if we allow them to embrace and if we sort of baptize some of their pagan festivals. And so they started saying that Halloween was the time of All Saints' Eve. And that they made the 31st of October be the day when they celebrated the dead saints, who they believed they could still pray to that weren't really dead. And St. Patrick didn't support that. That kind of came later. And it grew into, eventually, the holiday of you give gifts to people who come so that the spirits would not bother you. And they kind of commingled some of the Christian aspects with the paganism. But the Bible's pretty clear that Christians ought to avoid things related to witchcraft. Let me just give you a few verses from the Bible. Look at Leviticus 20, verse 27. That anyone who practiced witchcraft, sorcery, soothsaying, that was a death penalty. It was pretty serious. Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 9 through 13, it says, when you come into the land which the Lord your God is giving you, you shall not learn to follow the abominations of those nations. That's what happened there in Ireland and England when the Christians began to adopt those abominations. They shall not be found among you. One who practices witchcraft or a soothsayer, or one who interprets omens or a sorcerer, or one who conjures spells or a medium or a spiritist who calls up the dead. For all that do these things are an abomination with you. And so there are some pagan holidays that really don't conflict with any Christian principle. Thanksgiving is not in the Bible, the American day for Thanksgiving, but obviously it's a great holiday that Christians can embrace, giving thanks. But really, Halloween is not something Christians should embrace. The Bible tells us in Ephesians 5:11, we should have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose or reprove them.